Alright, shalom to the Israelite community. This is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. Alright, Hebrews. Man, I want to go over this little history, and I pray that you Israelites get an understanding that the Creator basically told us everything that would happen before it happened. It's just that our ancestors didn't heed the warning because we was blind by idol worship, and the good things coming out of Egypt, just like how the Israelites are blind today in this captivity. We know that, we didn't wake up to that. We was Israelites to later on with the abundance of information that we have today, and that Israelites are not taking on to it, but are in the love with idol worship, money and wealth and so forth, and they don't put emphasis on the Creator and make Almighty YAH first. A lot of Israelites, man, rather have Prada or Gucci than to be thinking about, the Israelite issue, or helping to bring it to a closure and so forth. And this is what I want to show Israelites, is that Creator Yah say he would hide his face from us when we break covenant, so our enemies can get us. And I want to show in stages how Almighty Yah started to hide his face from us, withdraw his presence from us, after we constantly transgress the covenant that he gave us, to where we eventually broke the covenant and was kicked out the land. And then, it makes sense that if we got to go through some punishment, that Almighty Yah, even though he see and know everything, but that he just wouldn't be with us like he was with us when we come out of Egypt and so forth, and eventually settled in the promised land, how Almighty Yah was with us throughout all our battles and so forth. But I want to show that the Creator say, because how we couldn't stop doing the evil and wickedness and so forth, is that how he would withdraw his presence from us. And it makes sense for the Creator to draw his presence from us. And then I want to show how Almighty Yah sent different nations and peoples to do his will. So, once he say something was going to happen, it's like the other nations and peoples was created to fulfill his will with dealing with the Israelites, and that he don't have to be here because he put everything in motion and so forth. Let's establish the fact that Almighty Yah said he would withdraw his presence from us, once we, broke bad and stuff, and how he kind of knew we Israelites would break bad. And that's a bad thing, is to be forewarned and told ahead of time what you're going to do, and then you eventually still do it. It's not a good thing. And then that's why we fell into the stiff neck category. Out of all the nations and peoples on the face of the earth, man, the Israelite gonna be the most stiff-necked people that's not willing to obey the Creator's laws and so forth that he had set forth. All the other peoples on the face of the earth, they ain't too quick to abandon their idols and false gods. But here we had the real Creator of the earth, and I'm going to show in tonight how it constantly reminds us that the earth belongs to the Creator, and that, man, we didn't abide by him, and we had the real Creator, and they had false gods, fake gods and so forth. And I'm going to show this, alright, but let's see this here, right here. Alright, man, if you go to Deuteronomy, and Deuteronomy is going to be basically Moses giving us the warning and the restrictions and the the horribleness that we would experience in getting kicked out the land if we didn't obey the covenant that was set forth for us by him from the Creator. And then I'm going to show that the Creator told Prophet Moses that the Israelites, man, going to break the covenant. See, we ain't like our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that men, they ain't finna let no idol, or no false gods come between them and the Creator. But their descendants didn't, hold true to that. Even though, the Creator said he'll chastise us and restore us. The Tanakh is the covered history of the Israelites' disobedience to the Creator. And this what was said. Look here. I mean, you go to Deuteronomy 31:17, and then let's see what it say. Let me see. I'll pull this up in the Tanakh too. Deuteronomy 31, 17. Here it is. Alright, this is 31. And the Elohim said to Moses, you are soon to lie with your fathers. This people will thereupon go astray after the alien gods in their midst. In the land that they are about to enter, they will forsake me and break my covenant that I made with them. Then my anger will flare up against them, and I will abandon them and hide my countenance from them. Hide my countenance from them. They shall be ready prey, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, and they shall say on that day, surely it is because our YAH is not in our midst that these evils have befallen us. See, we are like that now. Right now today, man, we saying, oh man, all these troubles is up on us from slavery to now that ain't nobody on the face of this earth experienced the hardships that the so-called African Americans, that byword and that proverb and byword title that been attached to us and stuff, and that how we the Israelites, but ain't nobody suffer worse than we have on this whole face of this earth. But you see, look, the other folks ain't abandoned their gods, and but the Israelites did. Look, then my anger will flare up against them, and I will abandon them and hide my countenance from them. They shall be ready prey, and many evils and troubles shall befall them. And they shall say on that day, surely it is because our YAH is not in our midst that these evils have befallen us. And I can show that us Israelites abandoned safety and ran to danger, which was the Egyptian religious system, and then how that we wouldn't have no safety, and Almighty YAH couldn't be in our midst while we was worshiping false gods and false idols in Egypt during the Babylonian wars, when we was kicked out the land, when we chose to go into Africa to do their religion. So we abandoned the Creator. Man, let's go to let's get Isaiah, we're gonna say 8:7. Let's see what it say. Isaiah 8:7. Let's see what it say. Yes, man, Almighty YAH hear this presence from us, and then that allowed our enemies, men, to get us, and how Almighty YAH gonna be back among us when the vast majority of us wake up to our Israelite heritage and wake up to the Creator that our forefathers worshiped, and then stick by it. He's coming back. He ain't going nowhere. He can see everything, but he gonna be physically among us when we start doing the things that we supposed to do. And know it's a creator. They know it's a creator, and they know that it's some entities up off this earth that they don't have no control of. And I can show in the book of Ezekiel how he give you a description of that entity that come from out the heavens to the earth. But we know that the Israelites' history is recorded from the beginning, you know, world history in the book of Genesis, and how we had the correct world history because we had the creator, you know, with us, and that's how we was able to record all those different tribes in the Torah's history and so forth. And they gonna be the beginners of the nations because Almighty Yah is the creator of the earth and the inhabitants in it. I'm gonna show some of this. But let's go to Isaiah 8:7, and we need to show that the earth belongs, you know what I'm saying, to the creator too, so he can hide his face from us, you know, and he can come back because the earth is his. All right, we go to 8:17. Let's see what it say. 8:17. 8:17. So I will write for the Elohim who is hiding his face. Look, this is Isaiah 8:17. So I will wait for the Elohim who is hiding his face from the house of Jacob, and I will trust in him. You know, here stand I and the children the Elohim have given me. All right. During prophet Isaiah's time, the creator was starting to withdraw his presence after King David, after Solomon. After Solomon's death, Almighty Yah just wasn't just physically, you know, present with us, even though, you know, he was there because prophet Isaiah was wrote, I think, 739 BC, and then you had Ahab, king, man, let me see some of these kings that was on during prophet Isaiah time, and Almighty Yah was there, but you can see that he's starting to withdraw his presence from us. And then, you know, he basically, man, we was done and cooked without Almighty Yah. It is during the Persian times when the exiles come back from Babylon and couldn't get it right. And that's the book of Ezra, Nehemiah, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi. Those 5 prophets covered the exiles that come back. And then after that, it was over. It was over because the exiles started sinning, and then the 99%, the Israelite nation ran into Africa in the book of Jeremiah. I already showed that there wasn't no 10 lost tribes. I got plenty of videos about that. It's just that the northern kingdom, the creator wasn't even working with them or through them no more. It was over with after the so-called Assyrian troubles. They really basically wasn't even hardly mentioned by name after the Assyrians busted everybody up, and Assyria was destroyed in 612 BCE. Well, in the book of Jeremiah, you know, I can show Israelites living in Judah's inheritance, and that when the Babylonians came, because the Creator sent for Nebuchadnezzar, I'm gonna show that how he sent other nations men to get us and punish us, and then how the Israelite nation ran into Africa when that 1% was captured. You know, when Nebuchadnezzar ran us into Africa during the Babylonian Wars, 1% was captured and taken to Babylon. And then when they come back, they sin so bad that, man, Almighty Yah didn't hid his face. It was over with after the book of Malachi. No more communication with Almighty Yah. He done hid his face completely from us. He's in his dominion, and his words gonna come to pass. And I can show that all he got to do is say that it's gonna come to pass, and how that things come to pass, even though, like, say for instance, when Cyrus was spoke of in Isaiah 45, man, that was in 711 BCE, and how 152 years later Cyrus come about to fulfill the Creator's will. And then just before then, Nebuchadnezzar was on the scene to fulfill the Creator's will with driving us out the land. So Almighty Yah had everything in place way before then, way before then, way before Nebuchadnezzar even come around, because he used the Assyrians to get us. All right, man, let's look at this right here. Let's look at this right here. All right, so we know the prophet Isaiah was on doing the kings of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah. In Hezekiah. So, and then I can show that, Almighty Yah was, there on the scene, but after those events, after King Josiah come on the throne, our last chance to get right. This is King Hezekiah's great grandson, and you'll see that all the tribes, are in our inheritance. In that the after the Egyptians killed King Josiah, that it was downhill from there. And then when the exiles was taken to Babylon after we ran into Africa, Almighty Yah done hid his face from us, because if you read the exiles' history, that's Nehemiah, Ezra, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi, you'll see that the Israelites would never change, man, from our sins, from messing with the other nations and idol worship, and that it was over with. Almighty Yah hid his face until the time that he's waking us up and calling us now. But all right, so I showed in Isaiah 8:17 how, man, they say he'll hide his face. Now let's go to 18, Isaiah 18, Isaiah 18, man, I believe that'll be 7. Isaiah 18:7. And let's see what it say. Isaiah 18:7. So if Almighty Yah say he'll hide his face from us, then, man, we gonna be left to get devoured by our enemies, which has been happening and so forth. We the only folks that need the Creator to be with us to resist our enemies. All right, let's see. 18:4. Let me see. It says, "For this saith the..." Well, let me read 3. "Say this, all ye who live in this world, and inhabit the earth, when a flag is raised in the hills, take note. When a ram's horn is blown, give heed. For this saith Elohim to me, I rest calm and confident in my habitation, like a scorching heat, man, up on sprouts, like a rain dew in the heat of the reaping." You know what I'm saying? So the Creator say he'll be in his habitation. And let's see about this here. All right, 59:2. Let's see what 59:2 say. Isaiah 59:2. 59:2. See, here it is again. Look, this is Isaiah 59:2. "No, the Elohim arm is not too short to save, or his ear too dull to hear. But your iniquities have been a barrier between you and your Yah. Your sins have made him turn his face away and refuse to hear you." And then that's what happened to us in the slavery days, when we got caught up in the slavery days, and then our enemies start brutalizing us. It's because Almighty Yah turned his face from us and we couldn't get no help. Because those Israelites that was captured in Africa are the covenant breakers, the Queen of Heaven worshipers from the book of Jeremiah. Alright, man, let's go to Hosea. Let's go to Hosea. Let's go to Hosea. Let's go to Hosea. I see Ruth. We're going to go to Hosea 5:15 and see what it say. 5:15. Hosea 5:15. Alright. 5:15. And Hosea gonna be in 753 BCE, and you can see, man, the Creator starting to hide his face from us. You know, from all the way from Moses' time all the way down, he's starting to withdraw his presence from us, and we starting to get devoured. We getting devoured in Tanakh history, as you see that after we wouldn't leave that Egyptian religion stuff alone, and that we started to get devoured and so forth. Alright, this would be 518. But you see, this is 753 BCE. We was messed up. We was messed up real bad. And he's saying this before Prophet Isaiah get to say what he say about the Creator withdrawing his presence from us, his face. Alright? So we go to Hosea 5:15. Alright. Alright. I will not punish their daughter nor their daughters-in-law for committing adultery, for they themselves turn aside with whoredoms and sacrifice with prostitutes as people without sense. Oh, that's 4. Let's get to 5. Alright, 5:15. Like a note, and I will return to my Abba till they realize their guilt. In their distress, they will seek me and beg me for my favor. So look, and I will return to my Abba. In their distress, they shall seek me and beg for my favor. That's the way we is now. So the Almighty Yah say after we broke covenant, how he gonna let what he say come to pass on us. You know what I'm saying? Let our sins in the prophecies take its course in this place. Let's go to Prophet Ezekiel. So we seeing a whole lot of prophets at different times and so forth saying Almighty Yah say he gonna withdraw his presence from us if we don't straighten up. And we never straighten up. As the book of Jeremiah showed that we ran into Africa to do the Egyptian religion. Now let's go to Ezekiel 7:21. 7:21. Let me see what it say. 7:21. Alright. And it says, for out of their beautiful adornment in which they took pride, they made their images and their detestable abomination. Therefore I will make them an unclean thing to them, and I will give them as spoil to the strangers and as plunder to the wicked of the earth, and they shall defile them. Look, it's talking about us. That once Almighty Yah get down from us and withdraw his presence, how our enemies will eat us up. Alright, let's see. Alright, this is Ezekiel 7. Man, I'm starting at 19. They shall throw their silver into the streets, and their gold shall be treated as something unclean. Their silver and gold shall not avail to save them in the day of the Elohim's wrath, to satisfy their hunger or to fill their stomachs, because they made them stumbling men unto guilt. For out of their beautiful ornament in which they took pride. They made their images and their detestable abominations. Therefore I will make them an unclean thing to them. I will give them as spoil to strangers, and as plunder to the wicked of the earth, and they shall defile them. Man, they done defiled us real bad. I will turn my face from them, and my treasure shall be defiled. Ruffians shall invade and defile it. But you see, the Creator said He'll turn His face from us after we, break covenant, and it's over with. That our enemies will be able to destroy us, and then that's what happened to us. Let's go to Ezekiel 39. Well, that may be 23. Let's see what it say. Different prophets at different times. Prophet Ezekiel gonna be around about 595 BC. This is right after they killed King Josiah, our last chance to get right and stay on the promised land, and did how we couldn't do it. We didn't want to do it. We wanted to worship the Egyptian religion and thought we was safe doing it. And it made Almighty YAH turn His face from us, and we was devoured. Alright, here it is again. Here it is again. I'm showing y'all how I constantly say we'll get devoured. Look, this is Ezekiel 39. I'm starting off at 22. From this time on, the house of Israel shall know that I, the Elohim, am their YAH, and the nation shall know that the house of Israel were exiled only for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me, so that I hid my face from them and delivered them into the hands of their adversaries. See, that's the only reason why these people got the ups on us, is because Almighty YAH withdrew His presence from us. Look, from this time on, the house of Israel shall know that I, the Elohim, am their YAH, and the nation shall know that the house of Israel was exiled only for their iniquity, because they transgressed against me, so that I hid my face from them and delivered them into the hands of their adversaries, and they all fell by the sword when I hid my face from them. I dealt with them according to their uncleanness and their transgressions. You know this gonna make him. This gonna make him turn his face from us. If you go to Jeremiah 44, you know this gonna make him turn his face from us. If we go do this, wickedness right here, this is gonna make him turn his face from us, and it ain't nothing we can do about it. And that, he ain't gonna want to be around us. He ain't gonna want to be around us, knowing that we done did this, and then this is a make him hide his face. And I am going to set my face against you for punishment. Assuredly, this said the Elohim of hosts, the YAH of Israel, I am going to set my face against you for punishment, to cut off all Judah. I will take the remainder of Judah who turned their face toward the land of Egypt, to go down and sojourn there, and they shall be utterly consumed in the land of Egypt. And we in the land of Egypt right now. Man, I can show we in the land of Egypt right now, because they got all the Egyptian monuments and stuff over here that would signify, man, the Egypt. Man, you see right there, that's that pyramid right there. That's that pyramid right there, and that's them obelisks. This obelisk right here, man, it's the obelisk that was created when we was in bondage in Egypt during Moses' time. That prophet Moses probably seen it, because it come from On, and they call it the Cleopatra needle and so forth. And then we went into Africa to do the Egyptian religion, and then that would make the Creator turn his face from us. And then that's one of the reasons why a person should understand that slavery was going to take place from Africa. You should have seen slavery from Africa that fit the curses, because the Israelites turned they back on the Creator, and He turned His face away from us, and we was devoured. And then that's why you should have seen some curses on the peoples taken from Africa that would fit the curses. And we Israelites ran into Africa during the Babylonian Wars and so forth. During the Babylonian Wars. Nothing to show this. Nothing to show this. Alright, let's go to alright. This will make the Creator turn his face from us. Look. Thereupon they answered Jeremiah, all the men. This is Jeremiah 44:15. Thereupon they answered Jeremiah, all the men who knew that their wives made offerings to other gods, and all the women present, a large gathering, and all the people who lived in Pathros in the land of Egypt. We will not listen to you in the matter about which you spoke to us in the name of the Elohim. On the contrary, we will do everything that we have vowed, to make offerings to the Queen of Heaven and to pour libations to her, as we used to do, we and our fathers, our kings, our officials in the towns of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then had we plenty to eat. We were well off and suffered no misfortune. But ever since we stopped making offerings to the Queen of Heaven, pouring out libations to her, we have lacked everything, and we have been consumed by the sword and by famine. And when we make offerings to the Queen of Heaven and pour out libations to her, it is without our husbands. You know what I'm saying? So, man, we was all messed up, and that's gonna make Almighty Yah turn his back from us. And what we did was during the area that the Israelites was taken to Babylon. So we was all affected, and then Almighty Yah started to hide his presence from us then, because when the exiles come back from Babylon, they sin so bad that you don't hear no more men about the Most High communicating with his prophets based upon the sin that the Israelites was doing, you know, in the land and so forth, that got us driven out. I mean, it was over with. It was over with. It was over with. But let's go show how the earth belongs to the Creator. So, you know, he can send other nations, man, to get us. And you know, once he drive his face from us, he can send other nations to get us. And that's what happened, man. We got devoured real bad. Man, man, let's see, Deuteronomy 10:14. We need to know that the earth belongs to the Creator, and that he, you know, can set things in motions to where if he hide his face from us, that we Israelites will still get devoured, and there's no escaping the Creator. There's no escaping the Creator. And when he turned his back on us, it's over with for us. It's over with for us, like it's been all this time. We've been suffering as a people. Alright? And we go to Deuteronomy 10:4. And he wrote on the tablets according to the first writings the 10 commandments which the Elohim spake unto you in the mount of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. No, that's not it. Oh, 10:4. That was 9:4. 10:4. 10:4. 10:14. My fault. 10:14. Even though it's all good to read. Behold, look. Behold, the heaven and the heavens of heavens is the Elohim's thy Yah, the earth also with all that therein. You know, so everything belongs to Almighty Yah. I mean, go to Psalms 24. We're gonna go to Psalms 24. Psalms 24:1. And we're gonna see what it says. earth is the Elohim's, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. So Almighty Yah control the whole earth. And let's go to Psalms 95. Just like I established the fact that each one of those prophets was speaking about Almighty Yah would turn his face from us in different little periods of time. And this is like the same thing, that how different little periods of times our folks are reminded that the earth belonged to the Creator. So basically, it wasn't no escaping Almighty Yah. And I'm going to show that he sent the other nations, man, to get us when he turned his face, when he started to turn his face on us. Alright. Let me see this. The sea is his. Alright. The sea is his, and he made it. His hands formed the dry land. Oh, come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Elohim, our maker. Our maker. See, them folks knew back then. Them folks knew back then who the maker of the earth was. You know? So, the maker of the earth, we broke bad with him, and he turned his face on us. Man, let's go to Exodus 9:29. Let's see what it say. Exodus 9:29. Exodus 9:29. Let's see, 9:29. Let's see what it say. And the holy garments Aaron shall be his sons, and to him anointed, and to consecrate him. No. Exodus, that's 29. I keep turning to the wrong point. Right there. But yeah, man, we turned our back on the Creator, man, and he turned his face from us, and we got devoured. Look, and Moses said unto him, as soon as I am gone out of the city, I will spread abroad my hands unto the Elohim, and the thunder shall cease, neither shall there be any more hail, that thou may knowest how that the earth is the Elohim's. So the earth is the Elohim's without question. You know, let's go to Joshua 3. Man, I think it's 3. Joshua 3:13. Joshua 3:13. And it shall come to pass. And it shall come to pass, as soon as the soles of the feet of the priests that bear the ark of the Elohim of all the earth, shall rest in the waters. All right, man, they spread it the waters, but it's letting you know that Almighty Yah control the whole earth. That the earth is his. That's why come it wasn't nothing for him to turn his face from us after he done said what was going to happen to us, and just to sit back and watch it happen. It is what happened to us Israelites. The Israelites is kind of like the dumbest people on the face of this earth. And that how we had the living Yah with us. All right, let's go to Joshua 3:13. Let's see what it says. And it shall come to pass, as soon as the sole of the feet of the priests that bear the ark of the Elohim. All right, I done read that. Let's go to Joshua. Let me see, 3:13. And it shall come to pass, as soon as the sole of the feet of the priests that bear the ark of the Elohim of all the earth rest in the waters of Jordan, that the waters of Jordan shall be cut off from the waters that come down from above. All right, that happened. Let's go to Samuel. Let's go to 1 Samuel 2:8. 1 Samuel 2:8. Let's see what it say. I'm just establishing the fact that our ancestors understood that the earth belonged to the Creator, so that if we was, broke bad, that mean is nothing can save us, because the earth belonged to him, and whatever he say gonna come past. This Samuel 2:8, 1 Samuel. He raises up the poor out of the dust, and lifted up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among the princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Elohim's, and he had set the world upon them. All right, now let me go show you Israelites how the Creator can say what he said from the beginning in the book of Deuteronomy, the blessings and the curses, and that how that, man, once he said and that he can leave, that his nations and so forth set in place, man, to to do Almighty Yah's will, and that he ain't got to be present. And then that's what's happening to us now in captivity. All right, we go to Isaiah 10. We go to Isaiah 10:5, and let's see what it say. I want to show y'all this, how he'll send them other nations after us. All right, I think I can go to 7:7. All right. All right. All right. If you go to Isaiah 7:17, this is in 739 BCE. We starting to lose contact with the Creator, and it was, he could set different nations together. Look, the Elohim shall bring upon thee and upon thy people and upon thy father's house days that have not come from the day that Ephraim departed from Judah, even the king of Assyria. Man, he brought them up on us, the king of Assyria. And then if you get over here to, Isaiah 10, 10, I'll start at 5. O Assyrian, the rod of my anger and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. I will send him against a hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take spoil and to take prey and to tread them down like the mirror of the streets. That's what the king of Assyria did to us, the northern kingdom, when they got rid of the three tribes that protected the Egyptian religion. Now the Creator told the Assyrians to get us. Now look, I'm gonna show y'all how he could turn his face from us, and how it's already in motion to destroy us when we break covenant based upon the curses that he told Prophet Moses. All right, man, if you go to Isaiah, that'll be Isaiah 45, you'll see that it's speaking, about Cyrus. All right, now we know that Isaiah lived before Jeremiah, who was dealing with Nebuchadnezzar, who Almighty Yah sent to chastise us and so forth. And that when the Creator sent the Assyrians, to get us, that he already had the Babylonians, in place to destroy them. And then he had the Persians in place to destroy the Babylonians. And then it was over with for us. Almighty Yah was out of there. You know what I'm saying? He was out of there. And his presence been gone from us since now. Look, all right, so we seen how the Assyrians came and then, bust us up. And then look, we go to Isaiah 45. Look, this in 711 BCE, and this go to 588 BCE. It's like 152 years that Prophet Isaiah was talking about Cyrus, before he was even born. All right, that said of Cyrus, he is my shepherd and shall perform all my pleasure. Even saying to Jerusalem, thou shalt be built, into the temple, thy foundation shall be laid. And that's what happened with the exiles when he freed them after destroying the Babylonians who destroyed the Assyrians. All these folks working for Almighty Yah. Look, this said the Elohim to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have held, and to subdue nations, before him. Look, that's 152 years, before he was even born. You know what I'm saying? And then if you go to Jeremiah, I think it's 27:6. Jeremiah 27:6. Let's see what it say. All right, I got Jeremiah 27:6. All right, and now I have given all these lands into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar. It's like almost 100 and some years later. And now have I given all these lands into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and the beasts of the field have I given him also to serve him. So, everything in place that when the Creator will remove His presence, mean that all these folks can still come perform His will with dealing with the Israelites. And then that's what happened. That He ain't got to be around for it to take place after He done spoke about it already. So He can withdraw His presence from us. So then let's go to Jeremiah 43. 43, that'll be 10. Alright. Say unto them, this saith the Elohim of hosts, the YAH of Israel, behold, I will send and take Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and will set his throne upon these stones that I have hid, and he shall spread his royal pavilion over them. Alright, Israelites, I just want to show that the Creator withdrew His presence from us, and our enemies devoured us, and that how we have to come back to Almighty Yah in order to bring His presence back around us, and so we can have the safety and the sovereignty that we need. And it's happening because He say He gonna come back, man, and save us. And we can see that our changes has been taking place, man, in our community, to where we not just as subdued as we were in the past and so forth. But our sin made the Creator, turn His face from us. Alright, Israelites, this is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood, and I pray that this video made sense to you.